It's the oldest institution on the planet. It's the foundation of our civilization. Everything we have stems from it, but this very foundation is cracking.
The institution that we're talking about today is marriage. Hello, my name is Greg Alexander and this is my wife Julie, and together we co-founded and direct the Alexander House, a Catholic lay apostolate that's dedicated to proclaiming the beauty, goodness, and truth of God's plan for marriage. You know, typically marriage starts out in a place like this, in God's house. But unfortunately, we find it ending many times in a courthouse.
We were married in the church, but we had no idea that God had a plan for marriage until we reached the point where we thought divorce was our only option.
At this point, many couples fail to see that their decision to divorce not only affects the couple themselves, but it also impacts the children and eventually ripples out to all of society.
If we did not have marriage, we would not have unity in our society.
Marriage is the basis and foundation of our culture and of our society.
Without marriage, there will be a breakdown in society.
If society is attacking the very thing that makes it society, that's a suicidal act, really.
The vitality and growth of the parish itself is based upon marriage and married couples.
When the married couple comes to the altar, they're going to speak the words of love. And what are those words of love? It's that I'm freely entering into this. I'm totally giving myself. I'm being faithful to you for the rest of my life, and I promise to be open to children.
Unfortunately, it is the children that suffer the most. Over 1 million children have their lives ripped apart annually. A third of our children in this nation do not live with their fathers. Children of divorce are 3 times more likely to fail in school, 7 times more likely to live in poverty, and more likely to end up in jail.
6 out of 10 marriages today are ending in divorce.
Cohabitation has skyrocketed and has increased 12-fold since 1960.
Out-of-wedlock births have exploded from 1 in 10 from 1960 to 1 in 3 today.
We have a great big debt to the younger generation to say, I'm so sorry for the way that we've lived our marriages, because a lot of times people cohabit because they look at marriage and they think, well, if that's what it is, I don't want it. So we have to really apologize for the way that we have been married, work to do better, and then to encourage people, because there's so much beauty and joy in marriage.
If marriage breaks down, our faith, the community of our faith, the church itself, the vitality of parish life suffers tremendously.
There is understandably a fear of commitment.
If you don't understand that God calls you to a particular vocation, and that's the vocation to which that's your path to holiness, and you allow yourself to be your worth or your value to be defined along worldly terms, then we're seeing devastating consequences to that, especially in marriage and family life.
And so instead of really dealing with the problems when they happen, to enrich our marriage, to use marriage counseling, to use other couples as resources, to use your church when those problems come up, people are waiting. And we know that where there's fear, there's no room for love.
The church has been proclaiming this for years, but now even social science points to the fact that many of the social ills that we see in our society today is attributed to the breakup and breakdown of marriage and family life.
But at the same time, research has documented a whole host of reasons why people should stay married.
People who stay married live longer and have healthier lives.
They have less stress and depression.
They make more money and even have better marital relations.
Reports also show that children from stable families do better in school and in life.
Is there any hope for revitalizing marriage and family life in our society today? Well, the answer is yes, and the Alexander House has a solution.
Since 1999, The Alexander House has presented God's plan for marriage across the nation. Through workshops, marriage coaching, EWTN TV series, and many other outlets, the Alexander House have helped thousands come to understand and live out God's plan for marriage.
Now with your help, the Alexander House can do more.
We are inundated daily with calls coming in for our marriage coaching. So we're initiating a program to train other coaches so they can help with these needs.
We currently have over 60 parishes here in the United States conducting the Covenant Love Marriage Ministry and one in the UK. The Covenant Love Ministry is a dedicated marriage ministry to be placed in the parish level to offer continued education and enrichment. And our plans next year is to have 100 new parishes on board as well.
We've hired new staff to accommodate the growth that is happening.
We've also begun plans for building a center for marriage here in the Archdiocese of San Antonio. This center will not only serve as headquarters for the Alexander House, but also a place for healing and enrichment for married couples.
And we will have rooms for meetings, days of reflection, and presentations pertaining to marriage.
On the grounds, we will have several spots for prayers and meditations and rosary gardens, a place for couples to come and find solitude here as they reflect on their marriage relationship.
And ultimately, a place for prayer.
Julie and I have recovered from the wounds of the brokenness in our marriage relationship. And now today we minister to other couples precisely from those very wounds.
Thanks be to God that we can use those experiences from the past and bring some good out of it now. So the work that Alexander House is doing deserves our prayers, deserves our financial support, deserves every encouragement that we can give to it, because what you are doing is helping to keep in good repair the foundation of our society.
Marriage is to bring people to greater holiness. Families are to bring people to greater holiness by making sacrifices and requiring more of us. So not only are we seeing, the financial needs better provided for, our economy is looking better, but we have better men and we have better fathers that are holding families together, that are stepping up and being the leaders that they're called to be. When men are men, women can be women. We have better wives, better mothers.
When divorce creeps in, it affects everyone. Not just the husband and the wife, but the children, the extended family and friends. And just like every vocation, challenging times do occur. But with apostolates like the Alexander House, being committed to helping people discover the grandeur and beauty of God's plan for marriage, not only to lower the divorce rate, but to allow those to experience the joy in marriage that God had intended since the beginning. You shouldn't wait until your marriage is broken before you give it some attention. If you wait, it just might be too late.